Hello everyone, welcome to Jazz Robotics. This is video series for Jazz Robotics Sensor Kit. In this series I am going to be covering 15 basic lessons. Very soon I will be releasing the video series for 50 plus Arduino projects that you can do yourself at home using Jazz Robotics Sensor Creativity Board. So please like and subscribe the channel so that you don't miss. To get most out of this series, I would recommend it to follow, and the links are in the description section of the video. Today, we are going to be covering the first part of the 15-part sensor kit series. The topic is traffic light simulation with Arduino. In this lesson, we'll go step by step and cover the following points. First, we'll start with a quick introduction to the project. Then we'll see the components required. After that, we'll understand the circuit diagram and wiring. Next, we'll walk through the Arduino code and see how it controls the traffic light sequence. We'll also run a simulation demo before moving to manual connections on a breadboard. Later, we'll implement the same project on a sensor creativity board where all the connections are already provided. Finally, we'll test the complete working and conclude the project. Introduction part. In this lesson, students will learn how to create a traffic light simulation using an Arduino Uno and three LEDs, which are red, yellow, and green. This project will help students understand basic programming concepts, circuit design, and the functionality of microcontrollers. Actually, traffic lights are essential for managing vehicle and pedestrian traffic at intersections. This project simulates a traffic light sequence using LEDs, allows students to visualize how traffic lights operate. Before we begin building our traffic light simulation project, first let's look at the components required. We will need one Arduino Uno board to act as the brain of our project, then three LEDs, one red, one yellow and one green to represent traffic lights. We also need breadboard and jumper wires to make the connections neat and easy, and a USB to load the code. That's all the basic hardware we need to get started. With these simple components, we can simulate the working of real traffic light system. Now let's look at the circuit diagram and wiring. As shown here, the red LED is connected to pin 7, the yellow LED to pin 8 and green LED to pin 10. The other ends of LEDs are connected to ground rail on the breadboard, which is linked back to the Arduino's ground pin. This setup ensures that each LED can be controlled independently by the Arduino. We'll follow this same connection when we build the project manually on the breadboard. Let's go through the code step by step. At the top, we define pins for LEDs. Red on 7, yellow on 8 and green pin on 10. In this setup function, we first start serial monitor at 9600 baud rate. This will let us print messages so we can track what's happening in the program. Then we set all LED pins as output so Arduino can control them. We also print a message saying that setup is complete. Now in this loop, we start red light. We turn on red LED and make sure yellow and green are off, as we have mentioned it is low. Now we turn off the red LED and switch on the green LED for 5 seconds. Again a message is printed so we can see this in serial monitor. Finally we turn on the yellow LED for 2 seconds, warning that the signal will soon change. At the end of the cycle, we print a separator line and a message saying that cycle is starting. This makes the serial monitor output neat and easy to follow. The entire process then repeats automatically, just like a real traffic light system. Now let's look at the simulation demo of our traffic light project. On the screen, you can see Arduino Uno connected to three LEDs, red, yellow and green. Each LED represents a traffic signal just like the ones we see at intersections. This is the code which we have seen earlier. Now let us see at the simulation part. When we run the code, the red LED turns on for 5 seconds. indicating stop. Then green turns on for 5 seconds representing go. Finally, yellow LED turns up for 2 seconds warning that the signal is about to change. The sequence keep repeating simulating a real world traffic light system. On the serial monitor, we can also see messages printing for each step making it easy to understand and follow the sequence and confirm that the program is working correctly. This simulation helps us verify our wiring and code before moving on to actual manual connections on hardware. We have successfully tested the project in simulation. Now let's move on to the manual connections. Here we are using an Arduino Uno board, 3 LEDs red, yellow, green along with jumper wires and a breadboard. The red LED is connected to pin 7, yellow to pin 8 and green to 10. Once the wiring is complete, we'll upload the same code that we used in the simulation. Now let's see what happens when we upload the code. As you can see, red LED is glowing for 5 seconds, then green for 5 seconds, then after that yellow LED is glowing for 2 seconds. We can also see these messages on serial monitor, which helps us confirm the sequence is real time. For confirmation, let's look at the code and the console output. Here is the same traffic light code that we used earlier in simulation with LED pins define setup function to initialize them and loop that turns a red, green and yellow sequence. Now if we open the serial monitor, you can see the printed messages. It clearly shows when the red LED is on for 5 seconds, then green LED for 5 seconds, then finally yellow LED for 2 seconds before cycle repeats. Along with the timestamp, we can see that there is a difference of 5 seconds, 5 seconds and 2 seconds. This proves that both in simulation and in manual setup, program is running exactly the same way. And the console output gives us an easy way to verify the sequence step by step. Now let's move to the sensor creativity board demo. In this board, all the connections of LED sensors are already provided. So we don't need to use jumper wires breadboard anymore. So this makes the setup neat, clean, simple, free from wiring errors or loose connections. Now let us connect. I am connecting Arduino Uno to the sensor creativity board. With the help of USB, I am uploading the same program which we have used earlier. Since the board already has built-in connections for red, yellow, green LEDs, the program runs exactly the same way as in the manual setup. You can see red, yellow, green LEDs. Red is blinking for 5 seconds. Then green LED is blinking for 5 seconds. Yellow for 2 seconds. On the serial monitor also the output is same. So the main advantage of this board is that it allows quick testing and demonstrates without worrying about wiring connections, which is especially useful in classrooms, workshops and client demos. So coming to the conclusion, we started by understanding the concept of a traffic light system, built and tested the circuit in simulation. After that, we moved on to the manual hardware setup using Arduino, LED and breadboard and confirmed that everything worked as expected. Finally, we implemented the same project on sensor creativity board, which gives us a neat and error-free setup without wiring issues. Through this project, we not only learned how traffic light sequence work, but also gained hands-on experience with Arduino coding, circuit design, debugging using the serial monitor, and advantages of using dedicated boards for faster prototyping. This completes our traffic light simulation project. Thank you for watching.